Alright, the full trailer for the movie Prey is now released. As I'm making this video, I only had access to the 720p version. Hopefully, the 4K version is released later on so we can get better quality. So for now, let's go through the scenes together. It opens up with an axe being thrown onto a tree, and someone asks Naru, "Why do you want to hunt?" And she replies with, "Because you all think that I can't." This fits the overall theme of the movie, where back then it was mostly the men who were known to hunt. And there were details about how this movie was supposed to go against gender norms. That's just a way of saying that during her time period, it was not common to see the females engage in a hunt. So now she wants to prove herself. She recalls seeing something in the sky, which she believes is a sign. She thinks she's now ready. But this image looks like the Predator ship coming through the clouds and is about to land. After this, she arrives at an open field with what looks like skinned bodies of large animals. You can see birds already flying above, ready to pick at the corpses. Was this done by the Predator or by another tribe? If it's done by the Predator, why would you skin a whole herd of large animals and just leave it there? I don't see the point unless it was trying to make a statement. The next scene is Naru, along with her dog, are near a stream of water, observing a bear nearby. Naru then speaks in her native language to the dog, as if she's telling the dog what she plans to do. I can understand that back then, maybe they used dogs in part of their hunts, as if they were trained like dogs of this era. She actually starts hunting a bear. She fires off an arrow, and it doesn't seem to affect the bear at all. It charges her while roaring. Naru runs through the stream of water as the bear continues chasing her. Naru then dives underwater and swims into what I think is a beaver home or a beaver dam. She reaches the inside through an opening underwater. She uses this area as a shelter, hoping the bear does not get to her, but the shelter proves to be too weak for the bear's strength. It breaks away at the wood, smashing its way through until it almost reaches Naru. When the bear is just about to get Naru, it roars one final time and then goes silent and falls. This is where Naru turns around to see the body being pulled away from her, and you can really see the CG effects right here. The bear sticks out from the picture a bit too easily. They could have had better effects for this part alone. After this, we see the invisible Predator lifting up the body of the dead bear, clicking and roaring in its victory. But here's the thing. The bear was never engaging the Predator to begin with, so it's not really his fight. The bear was distracted by another prey, so it seems like a victory you did not earn. If the bear lost a battle fighting the Predator, then I would see a reason for the Predator to revel in his victory. As cool as this scene is, it just seems a bit off to me. But then again, this Predator might not be following the traditional rules of honorable hunting. Naru is then heard talking to her people. She says to them, "There's something out there. I'm coming with you." One man tells her, "You can't." She merely replies with this warning, "I'm trying to protect you." The man has no idea what she's talking about and just says, "Protect me from what?" I was expecting them to speak in their own native language a bit more, but it seems English will be used by the Comanche for the sake of the audience, I guess. She sees footprints on the ground, which belong to a creature they have never tracked before. We can all guess it's the Predator. Naru looks up at the side of a tree, only to see a patch of blood, possibly from a previous victim taken by the Predator. We then see a group of Comanche hunters gathered together, as their chief or leader tells them, "It's time." This seems to indicate when the tribe are aware of an unknown creature, and they band together to hunt it down. They head through the forest, armed with spears, arrows, and axes. The taglines they use in the full trailer make a lot of sense. They hunt to live, which is referring to the Comanches that hunt for food to survive. The next tagline is, "It lives to hunt," which is the reverse meaning of the first one. But this really just explains the Predators just live to hunt. That's really what they're known to do. The footage we saw from the teaser trailer is also included, where she runs out of the forest into a grassy field, then gets pulled down by another Comanche member. He gives her a gesture to be quiet. He too knows there's something out there. He aims his bow into the forest, and just waits for the right moment. 3 red targeting lasers then appear on his forehead. Out in the distance, we can see where the predator is. The red laser gives his location away, and Naru knows something is about to happen when she sees the 3 red dots. She pulls the man downward to avoid being attacked. This scene is extended by showing an object glowing red as it just passes by the man's head. It could be a throwable weapon since it makes a noise as it travels. The 2 of them are aware something is watching them, hunting them, so they take off running through the grassy field. The top view shows what looks like the invisible predator chasing after them. After this, we see a few quick scenes of Naru talking about the predator and preparing herself for battle. She says, "It knows how to hunt. I know how to survive." We also see glowing green blood behind her at some point, so the predator was injured. As she prepares herself, one weapon she improves on is an axe tied to some rope. She's able to throw it at a target and pull it back so she can use it again. There's been some debates as to why a Native American will be able to take down a predator with primitive weapons. Well, Dutch did use a bow and arrow, along with gunpowder for explosives. It really all comes down to intelligence. Native Americans have a history of being great hunters, so I can understand why they put the predator up against this type of target for this timeline. Their battle against the predator leads them to a wooded area with rotten trees, stripped of leaves, and very little vegetation in the area. It's really foggy, but we do get a glimpse of the predator again from behind. This looks like the setting used for the poster we saw earlier last year. A man is seen running through the same area, then an object is thrown through the air as it gets impaled into a tree. So it's not only Native Americans that are in this story, we're going to see other factions. But since it's in the year 1719, it looks like they'll be limited to flintlock pistols or musket rifles, unless I'm wrong. The predator is shown leaping from above a tree, similar to what the jungle hunter did in the first movie. It uses the trees to gain an advantage point, and that's what I like to see. The physical attributes displayed not just in brute force, but in how athletic and fast it is. Some scenes are during daylight hours, others when it's really foggy, and there's even a night theme. And yeah, I see that someone is encountering what I think is a mountain lion, but this is most likely more CG effects. There's a pretty cool scene where the predator is holding one guy with his left hand, and he uses the wrist blades to block an incoming attack from a man with an axe. He flings his right hand to make the axe fly in the air, catches it in midair, then hits the man with it. Another scene happens very quickly. It just shows an invisible predator that could be burning as he throws the body of a Comanche warrior over a fallen tree. I remember back from July of 2021, there was a Collider interview with the producer John Davis and John Fox. John Davis mentioned that the story is about the ingenuity of a human that won't give up, is able to observe and interpret, basically being able to beat a stronger, more powerful, well-armed force. And John Fox added, it actually has more akin to The Revenant than it does any film in the Predator canon. And I'm really getting that vibe from Naru. Throughout the trailer, you can see she is learning what this creature is, that it knows how to hunt. She understands that it's invisible or camouflaged during the bear attack, that the red targeting lasers always lead to an attack afterwards, how she's improvising her weapons via the axe with the rope, and now she's learned that the mud can conceal her from being spotted. There's a part near the end that shows a Comanche warrior on a horse, and his weapon looks like the combi stick. It's most likely taken from the Predator at some point in the story, and it seems like he figured out how to make it expand. As the trailer gets to the end, Naru can be heard saying this, "Whatever did this, I can kill it." We also get the front view of the Predator. We can see the mask, which could be covered by a skull or bone, similar to how it was done to the Mr. Black Super Predator. The dreadlocks seem to be longer and thinner this time. It also carries something on its back. Some fans might not like the mask design, but I'm liking how it's different. You can't use the Jungle Hunter theme all the time, so let them try something new. The device we see on the arm opens up to form a shield, and it looks like it can block bullets. So perhaps its body is not fully armored like other Predators in the past, and this device is meant for dealing with humans with firearms. The weapon on its back could be a sword because it looks similar to the one Greyback used in the comic book dating back to 1718. I'm not saying this Predator is Greyback from the second movie, but it would be nice if they made a connection to either the first movie or the second movie somehow. The last scene is where Naru has green bloodstains on her clothing. She screams out into the darkness. The Predator roars. It leaps from a tree towards her, impaling its wrist blades into a tree as she dodges it. And the last frame in the video is the money shot. I increased the brightness to get a better look at the face. If you look at the mandibles, they are arranged in a different position. I think that's something that's going to bother a few fans out there, but for me it's okay, simply because I want to see a new design. I don't want to see the same thing every single movie. Overall, the full trailer gave us a better look into the visual effects. I don't think the CG effects on the animals are that great. The action scenes are okay. We got to see what the Predator looks like. Also, more scenery from the different locations and what the sounds are like. Did you hear the Predator clicks, growls, and roars? If you haven't seen the full trailer, then go check it out. I really like the foggy wooded area the most. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of targets going after the Predator, not just Naru. I can see the Predator getting weakened after so many injuries and enemies to deal with. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be the best Predator movie just from a trailer, but from what I saw, I do like what I see. It has a serious tone to it, focusing on a creature that wants to hunt, something the previous movie was lacking. I'm also wondering if they're going to bring up any new facts about this species in this movie. So what do you think about the trailer? Do you like it? Tell me in the comments section. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Carlos or Acid Glow, and I'll see you on the next hunt.